following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Well, folks, buckle up because the world just took a sharp turn. Remember all that talk about a new world order? It's not just conspiracy theory fodder anymore. Trump's back in the White House and things are changing fast. His re-election in 2024 sent shockwaves across the globe. It signaled a rejection of the old rules, the kind of globalist order that's been around since, well, World War II. Instead, we're entering a more transactional world. Think of it like a giant flea market where countries are haggling for power, alliances are fluid, loyalty is a luxury. And Trump? He's holding all the cards, or at least he thinks he is. This new reality is shaking things up, especially in those parts of the world used to the old way of doing things. Europe's in a tizzy, the Middle East is a powder keg, and everyone's wondering what happens next. Europe, the land of quaint cobblestone streets and endless rounds of diplomatic talks, is facing a crisis. Trump's America First agenda has thrown a wrench into the whole European project. Germany, once the economic powerhouse of the continent, is in disarray. Their government collapsed faster than a poorly assembled IKEA bookshelf. France isn't faring much better. The old guard is out and populist leaders are waiting in the wings, eager to seize power. These folks, they love a good strongman, someone who promises to put their country first. Consequences be damned. It's a worrying trend, folks. Remember what happened the last time Europe went down this road. It wasn't pretty. Let's hope history doesn't repeat itself, because frankly, I don't think the world can handle a sequel. The Middle East, never known for its tranquility, is even more volatile than usual. Trump's re-election has emboldened Israel, which is flexing its muscles like never before. Netanyahu's throwing peace agreements out the window and grabbing land left and right. The Golan Heights, theirs now apparently. Meanwhile, the Assad regime in Syria has finally crumbled. But before you break out the champagne, remember what happens when you remove a dictator chaos. Syria's a mess, a breeding ground for warlords and extremists. Turkey's taking advantage, expanding its influence. Iran and Saudi Arabia are circling like vultures, waiting to pick at the carcass. It's a recipe for disaster, folks, and the only winner is likely to be the arms industry. Remember when the US was the world's only superpower? Those days are gone, baby. Gone. We're now in a multipolar world and it's a crowded stage. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa have been joined by a whole host of new members. We're talking Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, even the UAE. They're like the cool kids table in the global cafeteria and everyone wants a seat. This new bloc isn't afraid to challenge the established order. They're creating their own institutions, their own rules. It's a direct threat to the Western-led system that's been in place for decades. Is it a good thing, a bad thing? Honestly, folks, it's too early to tell. But one thing's for sure, the world just got a whole lot more complicated and a lot more interesting. Stay tuned.